And standing over the two of you, still up on his horse, reins in one hand, he looks down at you both. If I ever see you in Treybin again, I'll finish off the rest of you. Get the fuck out of my town.
We'll go to the Gloomweald. Maybe they can help us.
So,
we are making all haste for the Gloomweald.
it's probably like 4:30 in the morning at this point.
Yeah.
None of you have rested.
No.
So we're going to be in for some exhaustion pretty soon. But yeah, you do so. You make your way. Travel the familiar route following the road to the Gloomweald. And you do so unobstructed. And by the time you get there, fittingly enough, the sky is tinged with pink as the sun begins to rise. What would you like to do? You stand again outside the sentinel trees of the Gloomweald.
I know we're exhausted, but I think it's better not to wait. We will be in trouble, certainly, if we get found out upon by anything less than friendly, but I don't know. Time can sometimes have an effect in these things. Let's leave the horses and make our way in.
I don't say anything. I just kind of like very gently pass her down to you.
Mm-hmm.
And then I dismount. And I'm taking the little guy with me this time.
Is Mayor Paisley conscious?
No.
Alright.
You had him slung over the back of your horse, right? Yeah. Yeah. What do you want to do with him?
I think we should leave him here with the horses. It's going to be alarming for him when he wakes, but well, there's not much we can do for him at the moment.
I will search around on any of Surrie's stuff to see if she has any like parchment or paper or like quills or anything.
Sure. Do you, Surrie?
I do. I can write a little note for him. Oh, I'll make a note.
So you just kind of prop him up by the side of the river.
Yeah, find
Lay down.
a stump or a tree, such a good place for him, and tether the horses.
Super flat around here, but you
Oh,
can
right.
roll up. You can roll up like one of your sleeping mats or something and put it under his head and just lay him by the river or something like that.
Great, yeah. And I'll put whatever cloak we have available over him as well.
Sure. Yeah. So yeah, you do so. You throw that over them. He just looks to be kind of peacefully snoozing. Yeah, despite the the horrifying events of the past 48 hours. You leave him there, and
I look at Weird Horse. Keep an eye on him. Keep him safe. I know you can.
Skadoosh.
One day I'll speak your language.
Yeah, while you're writing the note to the mayor, I'm gonna just take Surrie back from you. I still haven't said anything.
Mm-hmm. Alright. Let's be on our way. I'll lead the way.
Making your way into the Gloomweald?
Yeah.
You do so. This time, however, as you make your way in between the trees, you do not experience the same mesmerizing sort of effects that you did when you were strangers here. You make your way through the trees and still walk maybe 5 minutes or so underneath the boughs before you come upon that site where you first found the campfire next to a tree in sort of a glen with the trees arrayed in a circle around. And as you make your way in there, you see sitting to either side of the fire Felicity and Ferocity. Ferocity, as usual, seems to be thumbing through some sort of book, and Felicity, hearing you enter the clearing, raises her head up at you. First in surprise, and then excitement, and then seeing the state of all of you, a grave look falls over her face. What happened?
Would you believe we may have made a similar mistake to you?
Oh, my poor sweet friends. I've got no trouble believing that at all.
My friend has fallen, and we do not have the means to bring her back. I didn't know where to go, but I thought if anyone would know anything or know of anywhere, it might be our new friends here.
You seek a way to bring her back.
I know there are ways. I've never seen them done myself, but I've read of such things.
As you were entering the clearing and speaking to Felicity at first, you were still hearing the shh, shh, as pages were being turned by Ferocity reading her book. But as you mention, bringing Surrie back to life, the flipping of pages stops. And she just kind of looks up over the brim of her book at Felicity, who looks to her in turn. And a sort of pregnant pause takes place between the two of them until Felicity looks back to you. I'm so sorry, my friends. I don't think it's something that I can do.
Do you know any who can, or anywhere, anything?
My sister's being modest, says Ferocity, again resuming flipping through the pages of her book. What she means is that she can't do it, but we do know a way it can be done. And Felicity looking a little off-put and a little uncomfortable now at this point. Yes, but you must understand, all of you, bringing a soul back across the veil, it goes against the natural order. And as Fae, that's what we are designed to protect. It can be done, but we'll need to find someone to do it. And there is always a price. And without practiced magics, directed, focused magics, there's not really a way to be sure what that cost will be. It might fall on you. It might fall on her. If you do this, you'll be making an awfully large decision for her.
Yes.
Is that something you're still willing to do?
Yes. Seren knew her best, knew her longest. Yes.
She looks thoughtful for a moment. And I owe you my life. Seems only right this be the way it gets repaid. Okay. Here's what we'll need to do. We have her body. That's good. That makes it easier. And we have you, she says, gesturing to sort of all of you, who knew her best. That'll make it easier to bring her soul back. And Ferocity and I, we know how to find something to put all the pieces back together. It'll be easiest if we go back to the place where she died.
That'd be difficult. Father Cochrane decreed that if we were seen again, we would all be killed.
Ferocity snickers behind her book. Eat you. Ferocity, now that's not the time. I understand. Well, there's some good news on that count as well. We need to go to the spot where she died, but it doesn't need to be in this plane.
You have ways of finding there otherwise.
Do you know much about the Feywilds? Masters and mistresses?
More than many, but not near as much as my mother, for example.
The mortal plane, the Feywilds, and the Shadow Realm are all copies of each other. Reflections with the same layout, geography, places, and points of power. We can go to where she died in the Feywild, and it will occupy the same point in space and time as where she died in this plane.
That's a bit of good news.
This does, however, mean you will have to travel with us into the Feywilds, which can be a danger of its own sort.
think we're more than willing to undertake whatever danger. You understand?
She sort of gives a sidelong glance to Ferocity, who is still just entranced with her book. I do.
It's no small thing to have a sister.
Not at all. Don't let's dawdle. Follow me, if you would. And she picks up Ferocity in her arms, who still hasn't even taken her eyes off her book, and begins to walk towards the other exit of the clearing, opposite from where you came from, and just disappears into the darkness beyond.
Do you still have her? As in, would you be alright carrying her?
I still haven't said anything. I just nod. And I assume that I let the little guy go of his own volition, like I'm not holding
Sure,
him.
yeah, he's just padding his way around. He seems to really enjoy being back under the cover of trees, having spent a couple of weeks now out in the plains.
I kind of catch him a little bit, like with an eye.
He, as you look around for him, he's trying to pounce on crickets, and then he misses one, and then looks up at you dolefully, blinking heavily twice.
I still don't see anything. I just kind of gesture for him to come back over here.
He pats his way after you.
And I
Follow
just
them.
nod to Alcyone.
All of you follow? Okay. You make your way back into the darkness that obscures in between the trees anytime you're moving through the Gloomweald. And after only a moment, you come upon a new clearing which you had not discovered before, which you have not been to here in the forest yet. But again, it's just sort of a glade, except this time, instead of being open to the sky, the trees all sort of bend and swerve unnaturally, forming sort of a dome, like an IMAX theater, over a little hillock in the center of the clearing. And growing up out of that little hillock is a tree that it looks gnarled and twisted and tangled. Not in a foreboding way, just in a sort of whimsical storybook way, you know? It seems kind of the trunk is kind of like a Twizzler growing up out of the ground. It looks
Almost like Susian, kind of?
Yeah, kind of, yeah. It looks like instead of one tree trunk, it looks kind of like cords or fibers or multiple trees twisted together to make one. But by the time you arrange in the clearing, Felicity and Ferocity are already halfway across it, walking up, and she puts Ferocity down to one side of the tree and then steps over to the other side and sort of gesturing you all forward. I know this is important, but I'm still... Allow me to make a bit of a suggestion as we go in. Many of the Fae don't get to see mortals very often, and find them rather curious, and get excited. That attention is not always healthy for the mortals in question. You're going to see a lot of things as we go in. Try not to talk to anybody.
We will, then.
Are you ready?
Yes.
Felicity turns down to look at Ferocity, who gives a nod, and they both kind of turn and reach out a hand, each placing one upon the bark of the tree, and then both of them bow their heads a little bit and speak in a language that doesn't really sound like a language. It more just sounds like wind rustling through reeds. And as they speak, the tree begins to unwind itself and sort of spin out, creating an archway as the top of the tree remains intact and then splits to come to two separate roots in the ground. And you see in the space between the roots sort of a shimmering. The air has a heaviness and a texture to it that nowhere else, even here in the Gloomweald, which is already pretty strange, does. Follow us then. And they step through.
Let's be about to 10.
All of you going in. Okay, you do so. And as you step through, you get a weird sensation of weightlessness. And your brain sends the signals to like continue your legs to move and continue to breathe the air around you, but you get this strange sensation that you don't have legs and you don't have lungs and you don't have any of that stuff. You don't need to worry about it just for this moment. And everything around you is just sort of a bright white light. Until, as quickly as it came, you again find yourself standing in the exact same clearing as before, on the other side of the tree. Everything in this spot seems to be pretty much the same. But you all stand there, maybe taking a moment to retake stock, find everything intact, except you take a step out of the tree arch, Seren, and look around, holding Surrie's body. And as you look down beside you, the baby was following you, just as you stepped through the archway. But as you look down to the back to see, he is not there.
Wait for a second.
You hear a voice.
No.
Cut through the air in this warm, wooded glen. Seren?
Where is it coming from?
You whirl around trying to find the origin of the voice. And you see, standing there he is.
And I still have her body?
Surrie's body, yeah. He looks exactly the same. He's wearing sort of this forest green tunic. The only difference is his hair is reversed. All white with a single black streak that runs through it. And he's just standing there looking a little at odds and a little confused, looking around at his surroundings. What happened? Where are we? This isn't the Amber Temple. What happened? What happened to Surrie?
I'm just fall.
I will try and catch Surrie from you.
As you fall to your knees, he immediately makes his way across the clearing and bends down, putting an arm across your shoulders. Hey, it's okay. What happened? What happened? Talk to me. What is it? What's the matter?
She's like not laughing or crying. It's just air.
He sort of looks up around perplexed. He doesn't recognize either of you two.
Why would he?
I'm sorry, I don't know you. I'm a little confused. What's happening?
That's alright.
Lighter.
You wouldn't happen to be a fellow by the name of Dimitri, would you?
Yes. Who are you? What's wrong? Talk to me. Somebody tell me what's going on.
What's the last thing you remember?
I don't know. It's we were in the Amber Temple. We were going to do the ritual, and we were fighting, and he kind of screws up his face a
And then
little
as
bit.
he goes to think about what actually happened, I just kind of like... I have Surrie like maybe one arm like propped up now. I just kind of like reach out and just like side of his face.
Hi. Are you okay? What happened? What happened to Surrie?
Same thing that happened to you.
What?
The Amber Temple.
Yes. Did we win?
She actually does smile at that.
And you're dead for
The
this.
laughter from you.
Sorry.
Well,
I love it.
she there's like it's just tears. Yes,
Well, that's good news.
right.
It's been over a year since then.
What? No, we were just there.
You
What are
and
you talking about?
you and my father both perished in that fight.
Seren, what is it? Who is this?
Who's this jokester?
This is Alcyone. Cyrus' daughter.
Oh. Hello. Where is Hyros? What is happening?
Hyros is safe. Hyros is home.
Home? That is... What happened to Strahd?
I'm sorry you couldn't be there.
Oh. My head hurts all of a sudden. Well, it's good to see you, I guess. I died, is what you're telling me? Well, then how am I... Where have I been? A year has gone by?
This is all you.
She has put your soul for safekeeping in the body of a little owlbear.
Hello. Who are you?
I am Kishek.
This is Kashek.
You may think of me as something like Doric's father.
You know what? I believe you. I think I am dead. Yep, must be dead.
No.
I'm just dreaming all of this.
He's not really lying. It wasn't on purpose.
He's still just sort of kneeling on the grass with one arm over your shoulder, right, just gently rubbing your back and kind of just looking up and around confusedly and then back at you. Okay, somebody needs to catch me up.
You fell. There wasn't really much we could do. We had the chance to exchange one soul for one that was lost, and then Rickton made that choice for us. And I did my best.
Well, clearly you did a great job. I'm here now.
You're here, yes.
But what happened? So, did you do it? Did you defeat Strahd? Where is my family?
They're safe.
This is good news.
Strahd is no more. Barovia returned to where it was in the material world.
You're kidding. You did it. You really did it. I knew you would. Oh. Well, where are we now?
Not either of those places.
Well, I may have been dead, but that I could put together for myself.
We've been led here by these two.
And he looks over. They're just standing there, a little bemused looking. Felicity still holding Ferocity in her arms. Ferocity still flipping through the book. We may have forgotten to mention, the Feywilds doesn't have the same sort of hang-ups on corporeal forms that your plane does. Things are what they are here.
Just kind of wordlessly look back over at Dimitri then.
The Feywilds? We're in the Feywilds? I'm just going to do the best I can to hit the ground running here. So, I was dead. Strahd is dead. We're in the Feywilds. How can I help?
Now that I'm just full of sobbing. She's gone.
I'll come over and hold Surrie for you.
How did you and they get anything done during your time in Barovia? They keep falling down.
Kashek, I'm
To
sorry.
different degrees, but still.
Something about the imminent threat from a murderous vampire tends to motivate one.
We don't need that.
That's the last thing we need.
But wait, okay, so one last thing. Then what happened to Surrie? Is she okay?
No.
What?
Forgive
she
me,
know?
I'm sorry. I would love to give you a much warmer welcome, but
We are where we are. What happened?
We were trying to deal with a very foul individual, leader of a place, and not Strahd, of course.
Similar.
But a man obsessed with his own power over people, and we were outnumbered greatly.
She was brave enough to stay and try to fight until the end.
And he just sort of looks at her body. Oh, sorry.
That's why we're here.
What's been about it then? What are we waiting for?
Indeed.
If there's a way, we must find it now.
He's good to have around.
I would agree with you, yeah.
Alright, I'll take Surrie now and look to the sisters. Apologies.
No need to apologize to us.
Great, let's be on our way then.
Yeah. Follow us. And they turn and begin to make their way down the path.
And follow with Surrie.
Shall we? You all make your way. You make your way down a sort of winding path through the forest, still obscured between the trees as you knew the Gloomweald before, but the difference comes as you begin to see light coming from the end of this passageway that you're traveling through. And as you step out into the world, it takes a moment to drink it all in. It's what you remember. There's the Gloomweald behind you, which does look the same. But everywhere else, the slow, lazy, winding river that eventually splits and becomes the river that feeds into Treybin and the Gower Plains at large, is jumping and dancing across its surface, the water seemingly moving of its own accord, babbling and dancing down the stream. The landscape, while still flat and plains-like, is not depopulated in the same way that it was in your mortal plane. In fact, it seems quite busy. You can see at a distance of, maybe a couple 100 feet, the beginnings of what looks like some sort of village with domiciles built into the very ground with small dirt holes as openings to these whatever sort of houses they are or whatever else. The air is affixed with swirling lights like floating paper lanterns, and the sky is a strange purple color as opposed to the normal blue or black of night. What time of day it could possibly be, you have no idea.
As we're walking, I reach in whatever direction he is to take his hand and then realize how strange that is.
He's a little mesmerized by what's going on, and so he's a little surprised as he feels your hand. But he looks down at your hand and then back at you, and he doesn't complain, let's say.
We were warned not to speak to anyone.
That's fine by me. I don't know that I would have anything useful to say at this juncture anyway.
I don't let go.
Okay. You make your way out across the plains. Ferocity and Felicity both turn to you and says, it'll be about the same journey to what you know as Treybin as it does to get here in the mortal plane. Let's be about it.
Yes.
Okay. You make your way following the river. As you do so, popping up all along the sides of the river are what looks to be these pretty small, self-contained gardens. If you've ever been to the tea gardens in San Francisco or something like that, it's just like a fenced-in area with cherry blossoms coming out of it. And in another one, there's apples growing out of this one. In another one, there's pears. And in another one, a fruit you've never even seen before. And moving through all these little self-contained gardens are these strange little creatures. They look like lawn gnomes, almost. They've got, these big bulbous nose. All of them have these long, bushy white beards, and they're all wearing little, tunics and top hats and just sort of merrily making their way around the growing trees, seemingly collecting the fruit. Some of them seem to take notice of you as you go by, but they seem pretty set upon their work. And you continue your way.
Love to hear that.
Mm-hmm.
Kashek, please give me a wisdom saving throw.
Oh, God.
24.
24.
Oh, I'm sorry. 28. I forgot that it was a saving throw.
Fantastic. You feel a strange sensation in your mind. like something foreign. The only way to describe it is you've only ever had your mind in your head, and suddenly it feels like there's another one.
Is the mind familiar?
No.
Okay. Hey, Kashek. I was like, brought this one on myself. Does it say anything, or is it just like a presence?
Yes, you hear this voice sort of echo in your mind. How would it be for you to know the future?
Is he able to tell that it's only in his head?
Kind of. Nobody else reacts in any way, so...
Okay. I try thinking back at it.
What do you think?
Yeah.
The future is not something to be known. It is something to be tread.
Very wise. And I can show you a path to tread. One that will bring you to great things.
I am keener to tread my own path. It would be unwise for me to tread in others.
Very well. It's your loss.
He checks my saving throw very well.
It's your loss. You know how to get here now. You know how to find me.
I have known how to get here for a long time. You I am not so much interested in.
For a moment, you say that, and for a moment, you can see the little spinning beach ball. So...
Not just another Saturday in the Feywild for this guy.
How very interesting.
You are too kind.
I see your thoughts. I could give your student what he seeks.
And I would not much recommend hanging out with you.
Think about what I've said. Should you ever need me, come back here. Come to the willow tree.
Ooh.
And it vanishes from your mind. Okay, we'll put that away in the side quest folder if you ever want.
Yep.
Kashek literally said, what?
Excellent.
Well, that's fun.
Now,
Me?
Seren.
Uh-oh.
God.
As if you need something else.
I've already just taken so much psychic damage.
As you're walking along this path that winds its way alongside the riverbed, you see one of these strange little creatures, a small door open up at sort of the base of one of these wooden palisades that surround these, and you see the trees kind of growing up out of them. You see a small door open, and one of these little figures comes out. He closes the little door and then waddles his way over to one of the edges of the palisade and comically opens up a second, much larger door at the front of it, behind which is just an enormous backpack. About maybe the size of any of you, like 6 feet tall. And these things are maybe only a foot, if that. He walks back over, puts on 2 comically tiny little slings over his shoulders, hefts the pack up, and begins making his way to the road. He catches eyes with you, Seren.
Mm-hmm.
Hello!
Yeah, that's what you sound like.
I say nothing, but I will give him a very courteous little bow.
Oh, that's very polite. I saw you noticing my comically large pack.
She doesn't break. That was me. I nod again.
It's full of many wonderful things.
I give him a nod as if to say, I'm sure it is.
You want to know what they are?
No.
They could really help you. Very powerful magical items I've got it here.
I tap my own... I still haven't spoken anything. I kind of tap my own head, like, thinking about something. Then I just mime, like, I'm too dumb to use any of those.
Ah. How about you? You look like a one with a taste for magics.
Oh, shit.
He's not talking to Ian, he's talking outside.
Same hat.
And the hat is about the same size.
I've got fine dressings that would suit you for the Fey Queen's court, or magic rings that could let you wield unholy power.
I just sort of raise my hand and decline.
Suit yourself. And you! You've got a touch of the nature about you. You know much of the natural world, I wager.
Is that a microaggression?
He's a druid.
He also looks like an owl.
We're in the Feywild.
You were saying?
I've got some seedlings and saplings that would make quite the splendid garden back in the mortal plane.
Oh, I doubt very much they would grow in my homeland.
Do you say that?
Yes.
Oh dear.
Okay, make a charisma saving throw.
Oh, that's different. Ah, nat 20.
Oh,
21. Or, I'm sorry, no, nat 20 bringing it to 19. But yeah.
You open your beak to speak. And as you do so, the words come out like a little fog. And an action moves upon that fog, like it's being sucked into a vacuum. But you're able to sort of steel yourself and almost pull your breath back into your body. You feel a little spooked.
Well, that's a shame. Many fine things I've got in this pack. Well, well, be on your way then.
And you do so.
He's been here. He knows what he's doing.
I'm not talking about you, I'm talking about all of us. Someone's gonna not make a save at some point.
Okay, you leave behind you the little towns of all the little people growing their little fruits with their big packs. As you continue to canter, Felicity turns her head back around from sort of leading the troop here. I did warn you not to speak to anybody.
Only one of us did.
They're such good conversationalists.
I think that's kind of the point.
It's fun, though.
Alright.
Kashek, my beloved.
Yeah, really.
I wouldn't want to be a root.
Such a baby boy.
As you continue to make your way after I forget how long we said exactly. It takes like an hour. How long do we say exactly it takes to get from Treybin to the Gloomweald?
Couple
Couple
hours.
hours.
Yeah.
Anyway, you continue your way until on the horizon you see what looks like the sort of skyline of town. And as you draw closer and closer, it looks very, very similar to Treybin, now as you know it. But as you drive in closer, all of the buildings are burnt to cinder, hollowed out, and the earth scorched black around it. Felicity grows very quiet and a little sheepish as you draw closer and closer.
I'm sorry to make you return here as well.
It's good, I think. It's good to live with what you've done and learn from it. Mistakes you've made.
We're very much in that same boat now.
Well, this is Treybin here. This is where Treybin is in your world. Where did it happen?
Only just the edge of town.
Southgate.
Let's go then. You make your way to the sort of south gate of the city. And when you arrive, Felicity puts Ferocity down and reaches into her sort of billowing cloak and takes out a small satchel from which she pulls a number of small seeds and scatters them across the ground at the sort of mouth of the south entrance to Treybin. And as soon as they touch the ground, this sort of soft loam breaks through the scorched black of the earth around and makes this sort of almost like a bed of moss and loam. Lay her down.
I will do so.
All right. Now, Felicity begins to speak, but then Ferocity kind of pipes up again. How much do you know what happens when you die?
There are some souls who rejoin the Great Circle and some do not. That's what I know.
Great Circle, that's a good name for it.
I know there are beings who claim souls for their own purposes. Good and ill.
Well, the soul is the key. Most folks think we exist because we have souls, when in actuality it's quite the opposite way around. We have a soul because we live. Soul is built as you move through the world. And when the body dies, the soul is still very much what it was when they were alive, just outside. Most souls, when they die, wander for a ways until they come to terms with what's happened to them. That's where Surrie is right now, wandering. What we need to do is bring her back here so we can put her back in her rightful place. What that will take is something from you all. It fades as time goes on, but when freshly dead, souls have still a grand memory of who they were and what they were when they were alive. And they're drawn to familiar things, just as we are in life. So we need to provide some familiar things. You all know her best. A memory, a possession, a story. We just need you to share something about Surrie, to bring her soul here. Felicity and I will handle the other part.
Okay.
We'll be about it then. If you need a few minutes to think about what you'd like to do, please take it. Let us know when you're ready.
Thank you for all of this. Even at this point. Thank you.
Yeah?
Ferocity.
Yes.
I know that I gave you that book.
Mm.
May I borrow it back for an early moment? You know, that's all right.
She sort of squints her eyes a little bit.
That's quite all right. It
You
was...
could.
That's all. I just kind of sit next to her then.
Yeah, and Felicity and Ferocity step off for a moment and seem to be discussing their own part in what's about to take place.
I don't want you to feel a great deal of pressure, Seren, but you do have the most memories with her. But we will be here, and I have what I can give. You may lean upon us.
Just gonna reach out and play with her hair for a second. And smooth it back over her horn.
If all I can bring back is the person that I met 2 years ago. I hope you won't be too upset with me because you always seem very eager to leave the person you used to be behind. But if you can't return to us, I'm not so sure that I will be able to do that for myself. Because I only began with your help. The first night we had a bad night like we did just now. Some kind of loss. I was so confused by the way you reacted. It was... I had never been allowed to show that kind of feeling before. You used it as your strength to keep you moving forward, and I still do not. I've had practice and I still don't know how, so if you want there, Surrie, I don't know how much further I can keep going. You need to keep me out of trouble, Surrie. Just like you always do, please. I'm no one without the people that I care about, and that number is growing so much smaller every day. Please.
And I just kind of play with her hair.
Alright. The Felicity and Ferocity make their way back over. We're ready, if you all are.
I'm ready.
We're going to take our places, and once we start, it'll be your jobs to draw her here. And like we said, that can be with anything that's familiar. Funny story, sad memory, something she knows, something she'll be able to hold on to. You're not all required to speak, but the more there is, the easier it'll be for her to find her way back.
You do whatever it takes.
Let us begin then. And they sort of move to either side of the sort of loamy bed that's been laid out. And both stand, raising their hands up into the air. And both begin a chant. And as they begin to chant, it seems like roots begin to grow out from underneath their flowing gowns, winding their way across, the earth to the loamy bed on which Surrie lies. And it's that same sort of chanting that is like, it doesn't sound like a language, it just sounds like the sounds of nature around you. Older than primordial. When you're ready.
You don't have to go first.
Hyros was down. Dwarg had fallen. I was on my knees. And none of us could see you, but we did see the arrow. And we did see Strahd look down at it as it sprouted out of his chest. And we watched as he vanished into mist, and that was the first time I was ever proud of anyone that wasn't myself.
I only just met you recently. But those few weeks you spent with us at home in Wyvern Glen, I was so happy to welcome another sister to the family. I've tried to look after you since then. My father is yours now. He has been since you met. We are family. And we must look after each other. And family means nobody gets left behind or forgotten. And I know that you need to see that enormous blue oaf as badly as I do. So if for no other sake, for Dad.
Take my lyre out. It's not the same at all, but I'm gonna try as much as I can to play any of the songs that I heard Hyros playing while we were on the road together.
Sure.
Alcyone will actually play them with you.
Give me a performance check. Add one of you at advantage.
You do that.
All right.
Mine's gonna sound like the funeral version.
You sure with that negative charisma modifier you don't want to give it a whirl?
I'll put one of the dinner plates down on the thing with her.
Different. 25.
Excellent. You both begin playing softly and melodically as the roots grow more and more into the earth all around underneath your feet. And once they hit the loam, they begin growing up out of the ground and transferring into vines, which start winding their way over Surrie's body. Well, I've been gone for a while, so I maybe you've changed a whole bunch, Surrie. I bet you have. You were very quiet when first we met, but even in the short time that I knew you, I saw a real voice emerge, which was fun to watch. Shoot, I wish Milivoj was here. He always had plenty to say about you. Don't make jokes at the ritual community. I guess I missed it, but if what your friends are saying is true, then you brought the sun back to my home. And that is a mighty and powerful thing. So thank you. The vines continue to grow, sort of encasing over her body.
If I can, before they completely cover her,
Mm-hmm.
I will take from behind me a dagger out of its sheath, and I will place it in her hand and sort of hold it over her. That's something you should know well.
The vines grow and encase, and the two of you continue to play a familiar melody that Hyros once plucked away in the warm light of the Blue Water Tavern. Surrie, give me a perception check. At advantage.
Okay. Perception?
Uh-huh. At advantage.
At advantage. You can say that. Come on. 24.
You hear something, and then you remember what hearing is. And you make out a sound that is familiar to you. You hear the song they're playing, and you hear these words. And you have the memory of that day in the Blue Water Tavern, when first you sat, first arriving there in Barovia, as they played this song. And then you remember Seren. And you remember all your friends there, and what happened there. And you remember being victorious over Strahd, and you remember coming to Arcadia, and you remember going to Treybin, and you remember where you died, and you remember that you died. And you remember that you can make your way back if you choose to. The choice is yours.
Yeah.
Felicity and Ferocity's chanting reaches a sort of fever pitch. And in the sky above the loamy bed, now entirely encased in vines, something strange happens. A shadow takes form in the air. A sort of swirling, twisting nether, which opens from the center out like the eye of a telescope, opening up. And you can see something on the other side, a world that you can't quite make out but is somehow familiar to you. And from this little portal comes this tiny little bead of light, which floats like an autumn leaf through the air until it makes its way down to the vines and nestles lightly on it, and then seems to dig its little way through the vines to what lies beneath. all the vines instantly erupt in wildflowers. And Surrie, you wake up covered in wildflowers in a place you don't quite remember. But you're back.
I remember what happened.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I stop.
Do her eyes open?
If you want them to.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's good.
I'm sorry.
Just like on top of you.
Yeah, I'm gonna just kneel at her side, yeah.
I'm sorry.
Irox is gonna be so mad at you.
You can't tell Hyros.
Now, he won't be mad. He'll just be disappointed.
You know that's worse.
Oh, you've seen Hyros' disappointment. It lasts for 10 seconds. You little idiot.
I'm sorry.
We're well past that. Oh, I thought you were smarter than Briseis. Oh, good lords.
I thought I was too.
That's
Kind of
alright.
Sit
That's
her
alright.
up. I kind of like sit you up by your face, and I have your face, and I'm like just looking at you to make sure like everything is kind of like still there.
I just look at you. I'm sorry.
Like forehead touch.
Please don't do that again. I will try my hardest not to, I promise you that.
We'll do a better job of keeping everyone nicely in order.
I'm not sure what kind of choice we just made for you, but I thought this was the better option. I'm glad you made it.
You weren't done, not by a long shot.
Have not.
And we weren't done with you. Selfishly, perhaps.
Are you two?
I've been there.
Felicity and Ferocity.
Mm.
You look to them. Both look rather pale. Their eyes are still that sort of inky night sky color, but no stars visible in them at this point.
What can we do to help you?
Nothing. I've repaid a debt. I'm happy to do it. Welcome back, sir.
Thank you. Did that hurt you in some way?
It's taxing. Such old deep magics. But nothing a little R&R won't fix.
You'll be okay?
Yeah.
You're both very strong, of course.
Thank you.
Especially you.
Ferocity.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hi, Surrie.
Hi! Dimitri?
Welcome back. It's a big day for us.
Yeah, you too. Just kind of look at Seren. I'm not so sure that one's permanent. We made sure this one is. Hold your hand really tight.
I don't want to cut the celebrations short, but
We want to be safe here for long.
the longer we linger, the more attentions we will draw. I think considering the state of all of you, it's best if we be back on our way.
Too true.
Yes, thank you. We cannot thank you enough. I know you say you pay a debt, and that is all well, but gratitude is still gratitude.
Well, yes. Happy to do it, and good luck.
Thank you.
Will you come with us, or will you be staying here?
Yes, let's show them her way back.
Is the blade still there?
Yeah.
Can I pick it up?
We may need it again.
That's fair, that's fair.
As is the dagger.
Kashek's
Yeah,
magic
great.
treasure plate.
I will.
He was happy to help, but also it's his treasure.
And Felicity picks up Ferocity again, and the two sisters begin to make their way back along the riverbed back towards the Gloomweald.
You going to be alright on your feet?
How do I feel?
Weird.
Yeah.
It's like It's like, have you ever woken up from a nightmare and you can't move your body at first, and then you kind of gotta remember how to do it. It's like that. You have to think about moving your legs for a second and your arms, and it comes back to you after a time. But it's weird. It's a weird sensation, unlike anything you've experienced before.
I'll be alright. Thank you.
Great. We can talk later. That's right. We can talk later. Let's go.
Do it. And you do. This time... You're fine. This time...
No tiny guys with enormous packs.
Y'all got lucky. This could have been one of those ones that was like 1 session or 5. Depending on how those change.
Okay, cool, right. Neat, cool.
Yeah, okay. You make your way back to the Gloomweald. Back to the trees, back through the forest, and back to that sort of archway. Which the sisters open again in that same unwinding way. And it stands before you. Take a little time if you need. It's been a trying day. It was good to see you all again.
I'm gonna take one of the probably last loose feathers, if there are any, off of my cloak.
Mm-hmm.
One for each of them.
Oh no, that's really not necessary.
I know. But if you'll humble me, I think they give some measure of protection, and we asked quite a deal of you today.
I'll take hers. I'm ready. Yeah. Felicity opens her mouth to speak, but seems to not be able to bring herself to. And Ferocity collects the flowers.
I thought you said feather.
I did say that.
Sorry, feather. No, excuse me. Feathers. That's just as good. Yes.
Can I take a couple of those flowers?
From the wildflowers from the loamy bed. Yes, of course.
Those are yours, man.
Those are your flowers.
You made them with your soul.
You made them.
I didn't think. Yeah, okay.
Yes, collect a number of them before you left.
Yeah.
Quite the day.
Can't wait to walk through this gate.
Just like old times.
Well,
I look maybe like meaningfully at everybody else.
Let's go.
And then I will hang on to him for a second.
Kishek, let's go.
Is everything okay?
I'm ready to go.
And so, come with me,
Here we-
Surrie.
Ah,
it was good to see you, Dimitri.
Well, we're all going, yes?
yes.
See you in a second.
It is good
It's
to
just a
see
bit
you,
far from
Dimitri.
back.
I'm sorry, I had a long day.
Oh, yeah, I expect. You were dead.
I was.
Glad you're back, Seren.
Thank you.
Gosh, it's good to see you all. It didn't feel like any time passed, but it's good anyway.
Let's go.
Let's go.
And before he can step back with everybody else,
Hey,
you're different on that side.
what do you mean? Which side? The dead side or the alive side?
I'm not really sure which one is which at this point.
What are you talking about?
You know that thing that you did before we even met?
I did a lot.
The reason that we came looking for you in the first place.
The ritual. Yes. I'm so glad you talked me out of that one. The good way was better.
Right. I was really out of options. But I just thought it was unfair that you worked so hard and never got to see any ends to it.
Oh. I mean, Barovia's still there, yeah? I'll see it again.
Yes, but you weren't about to.
Oh gosh, I can't wait for some of my mother's wolf stew. Oh, I have missed.
I can't wait for you to eat something that isn't wolf, but that's beside the point. Listen to me, please.
Yeah, what's the matter?
I took it back,
Took what back?
Gem.
Yeah, well, good. They can make the wine again.
No, I took it back from them. I gave it back to you.
Oh.
But you didn't come back as you are now.
I'm just going to give up on questioning things today.
You came back. I didn't think you would remember anything. I didn't even think it was really you.
You know, that you mentioned it. It's not quite. It's like a memory of a dream. A city. Big palace. But a comfy bed. Am I making sense?
But it is you in there. If this is what truly is.
This is me here.
I've been really afraid to ask because I wasn't sure I could face the answer if it was no.
What I'm putting together, Seren, is that if I walk through that gate again, I won't still be.
Not as you are now, no.
Well, you can't stay here forever. Seren. I'm with you. Just, look for the wind on your cheek. It's me.
Tipped her up and kissing again.
It was really good to see you. Let's go together then, huh?
Right.
You step through the archway. That same feeling of weightlessness coming back down. And you emerge back in the glen with the baby. Swaddled in your arms.
Oh, Seren, thank God you're here. We stepped back through and Surrie turned into an owlbear. I've been sitting on that one for 10 minutes. I'm like, oh God.
So you again stand in the Gloomweald.
What time is it here? Because it was just dawn.
Well, you can't really tell in the Gloomweald
Sure.
because it does. There's, you can't really see the sun from where you are now.
But to be clear,
Mm-hmm.
we are not literally in the Feywild right
You
now.
were.
We were.
Not anymore.
But the Gloomweald itself.
The Gloomweald, the veil is thin.
The veil's okay.
It's the same in both places, kind of, right?
Yeah, it's like the Upside Down in Stranger
Yeah.
Things. Everywhere in the mortal plane exists in the Feywild, just different.
But you were saying that the Gloomweald didn't look very different when we were in the Feywild.
Not the Gloomweald, no.
Cool. Neat.
Yep. What would you like to do?
Sleep.
We should go find the horses instead of camp.
Oh, yeah.
We should see if there's anything to be done for our friend.
Well, the mayor, he's alive.
That's good.
That makes all of us.
Yeah.
Make our way out.
You do. The path gives way. You emerge back out onto the plains. The horses left where you sat them. The mare still lying to the side of the river.
Is it about the same time, roughly, as we left? Later?
The sun is up over the horizon now. You take it's probably 7, 8 in the morning.
I don't think any time really passed while we were gone. I know it's daytime, but I'm just about exhausted enough that I could manage to sleep.
I can take the first watch if you don't feel comfortable.
Yeah, I'll take the middle one. I just need to regather my spoons a bit.
You should sleep.
No, you don't take any watches.
Is she tired?
Probably a little.
Okay.
Wager. It's been a big day. Same way Hyros was when he came back.
Mm.
Was that
That was
the
Kashek hitting the floor.
Well, out you go.
Next
So you guys long rest through the day
Gonna try.
by the bank of the river here?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
We're far out of town, so they
Yes,
wouldn't-
you are. You do so. And let's take this opportunity to take a well-earned level up.
Oh my
Alright.
goodness.
So okay.
All right.
After the worm and curing the plague and fighting the father and bringing Surrie back to life,
And coming back to life?
Yeah.
I think that's enough for a level up.
Wow. Wow. Okay. Cool.
You all make camp in Surrie. You hear a sound like the crashing of an ocean wave. Then nothing else. You look around at your compatriots, setting up camp, talking to each other, laughing, maybe breathing a sigh of relief after a pretty rough couple of days. But you don't hear any sound. Nothing emerges from their mouths. You can't hear the wind or the grass rustling around you. You hear nothing except the voice. Strange, distant, and unfamiliar to you. Hello, little flower. I'm glad to see you're feeling better. However, there is still a price that must be paid. You didn't think it would be so simple, did you?
Of course not.
Well, fret not for tonight, little flower. Just enjoy being back amongst the living. I'll be checking in on you now and again when it comes time to pay what you owe. Rest well, little flower. I'll be seeing you soon. For this level up, you must take a level in Warlock. Your patron binds you to life. You can choose your patron, but choose wisely, for which you choose will determine the nature of your payment. Okay. The three of you, not Surrie, give me a perception check.
Oh no.
26.
I fell asleep.
Okay.
5.
Great. Seren, you see Surrie go a little bit funny for a minute. But then, you carry on. You'll get a long rest.
So we're probably waking up.
Yeah, well, so if you're long resting through the day, you're going to be waking up
Late
at
afternoon? Because we're going to bed like 8 a.m.?
It's like early.
Yeah. So, yes. So then it'll be like 3, 4 in the afternoon when you're getting up.
Do I feel any different? Or
You look
look any different?
You don't. As you guys are, again, to rewind time just a little bit. As you're setting up kind of your camp before you long rest, you're going through your things, and you find something that wasn't there before. A little heron in the shape of a butterfly, and the wings of which are like that opalescent mother of pearl kind of color. But that's it.
Okay.
You just find it amongst your belongings.
Is that before or after?
After.
Okay.
After you hear the voice in your head.
Okay. I'll just keep it with myself. I'm not going to put it on yet.
Okay. The time is yours. What would you like to do? You are camped a couple hours away from Treybin in the wide open Gower Plains.
Nothing happens to us during our sleep.
No.
How does the mayor look? Does he wake up?
When you get up, he's awake.
So it was
Can't
on
speak.
last watch, probably. So
Yeah, right, yeah.
Okay.
He stirs awake. Can't speak, obviously. And he looks incredibly weak. But he's sort of... He kind of looks up wearily, searching his surroundings, and he sees you all. And he looks a little calmer seeing you all, but he looks not great.
Wait, so what even happened?
I gave up. I asked him to yield. And he did.
as soon as you went down.
He felt he had made his point.
He lives.
He did say, though, that should we ever come back, he'll make sure we all die for it. I know we may have contrary feelings to that, but today is perhaps not the time to act upon them.
No,
I wasn't going to suggest we should.
Just a notion to float.
When we do come back, we'll formulate a better plan.
Yes.
Sure.
And we will remove him
For better or for worse.
For better.
I hate to exclude you from the plans, but
You speak to the mayor.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not so sure you're in the best position to fight again.
He looks at you as you're speaking to him. He just rolls his head back and looks up into the sky and shuts his eyes tightly. Just a little tear runs down the side of his face.
Should we make our way, I don't know, back to the capital or something? Is that a plan you have any designs on?
He opens his eyes back up and kind of, with a look of effort on his face, kind of manages to sit up. And he looks at you all. And he just takes his finger and points at himself. And then he points to the Gloomweald.
Hang on. That trip is a little weird for me, so this might be strange for you, but I'm going to look at him and use, for the first time, my telepathic speech.
Ah, okay. Great. So now you do you just
So as a bonus action, yeah, he can...
communicate telepathically?
Yeah, while the two of us are within a number of miles, 5 miles, we can communicate telepathically.
And that's
For an hour.
That's not your inspiration.
No,
Okay.
that is a sorcerer ability, first level.
Okay. So yes, so you hear his voice again come to your mind.
Yeah, it's me again.
Hey, buddy.
I failed. This is all my fault and my weakness. I let this monster come to power right under my nose. I didn't do anything to stop it when I could, and once I couldn't, I just cowered in fear. I'll go to the forest, see if I can learn anything else of what I've learned already. Maybe one day I'll be able to make a move again, but for now, I just need to sort out my shame.
I relay all that to the rest of them.
Best wishes on your journey.
I'm sorry we couldn't help more.
He thinks to you. Made the people safe. That's all that matters to me. Did more than I ever could. No, thank you.
I hope so.
Be safe in your journeys. We will see you again, I am sure.
I should hope. Only good I ever did was when I was with you all. And he kind of painfully and torturedly gets to his feet, and you see as he rises, he begins to change again into his black bear form, and his feet come to land on the ground in front of you all with a soft sound as his padded feet hit the grass. He just kind of looks up at all of you balefully with his big old bear eyes, and begins to slowly plod his way towards the Gloomweald.
I don't like it.
You can't take his choice away from him, though.
Wouldn't dream of it. I don't like the way this ended.
It's not over.
I know. I don't like thinking that he won. I don't like him thinking that he won.
He made some
He
powerful enemies.
That's fair. Not to say we couldn't have done it. We had a bad day.
We had a very bad day. But they are not all bad days.
I do open a flask and start drinking.
Sure.
What? Oh, well, I guess. Never mind.
So what do we
It's
do?
5 o'clock right here.
Alright.
So what do we do now?
Well, we talked about continuing on the path after completing one of the objectives, making our way to the next one. It was this out here in the plains. There was a temple somewhere in the woods. I think Malorn was our point of contact first, unless I'm mistaken.
Yes, correct. Bernard's quest was to try to find the Temple of Kerninos, to uncover some secrets, if there are any to be found, about the Temple of Stars.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody knows where it is, or if it really exists, But there are scholars in Malorn who know more than he does. So he said, seek them out there.
And then further east, Caradrim, and the stuff beneath the dwarven homeland. Yes, sir.
We know what lives beneath the ground.
Many things live beneath the ground.
You know what I'm thinking of when I say we know what lives beneath the ground.
Fungus?
Yes, Gishek.
Sometimes on top of the ground.
Oh, just constant gems. Swinging gems all day.
She actually does smile.
He doesn't necessarily know what a drow is.
No, I know that, but I'm just saying that like there's a
Yeah.
there's a difference today.
It's the best day of your life. You got to see your boyfriend and your girlfriend.
Both of them are alive. Everything's coming up, Seren.
I mean, you got an incredible amount of confirmation on that.
Oh, that yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna.
Doesn't
No,
necessarily
I
have a
know,
little
I'll
spring
say
in her
I'll
step, but she's a little springy.
The
No.
baby, by the way, is chasing those water skimmer bugs on the bank of the river. So, what is the plan?
We're working
That's
on
the
it.
question.
We're working on it.
I am certainly walking in a direction.
Which one of those is closer, I assume?
Malorn is, well, we're about as far west as you get on the map within Arcadia itself.
Mm-hmm.
So, about halfway, maybe a little more than halfway from here to Caradrim is Malorn.
Not quite. Because if you were to head from here to Caradrim, you'd be going mostly east. You'd be going, like, if here's if here's Treybin, you'd be going in, like, this.
Mm-hmm.
Malorn is like this.
Oh, I didn't know Treybin was that far south.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
I've got it there.
Thanks for the map, Surrie.
I mean, it is. Yeah, here is what we have been
I
granted.
guess. Maybe oh, yeah.
So,
oh, yeah. No,
somewhere
you're
between,
right.
I think, what we're
You're
saying.
You're right. I was wrong. I made this map and I was wrong.
Did you just call him on his own lore?
No, I'm glad he did. He was right.
He called himself.
Yep.
Ron, pull the map up.
I played myself. No, you're right. So,
Well,
yeah.
I was looking at.
So actually, they're kind of in the same direction. Malorn and Caradrim.
I don't know much. I'm curious about how I would be received in Malorn. I'm also curious about how I would be received in Caradrim, for what it's worth.
That's a fair point. If they're having problems right now of that nature.
Perhaps this isn't quite as pressing, or maybe it is, but I would feel better if we found ourselves in a place where we could talk to someone in the capital. Not necessarily go there, but you know, sometimes you can point a finger and I hear your voice in my head.
Yeah, that only works if you're kind of close, though, not that far.
Right, I'm just curious about how things have been unraveling there.
It's true.
Well, depending on who's home, either my mother or Drastos are pretty good at messages. And Wyvern Glen is not terribly far from Malorn. You did mention wanting to visit, and
I was mostly joking about tattling Hyros on you, but
I think he'd be glad to see us all.
it does sort of seem rude to go travelling nearby and not pop in.
Maybe his...
If we're going that close, we're going to see Hyros. I'm going to see Hyros.
If you're going anywhere, I'm going with you, so...
Maybe his wagon sickness is abated.
Hopefully.
We're going to need a plan when we tell him about all that, and he takes off at Mach 2 towards Treybin to beat the living shit
you know what?
out
Hold
of the father. He's gonna crack a fucking can of spinach and he's gonna be off to the fucking races.
Freddy makes a great point that Kashek wouldn't have. So...
Oh,
Right, he's going to be not mad at me.
No, I said disappointed.
Right.
I was kidding, he doesn't do that.
Be disappointed?
No, bless him.
Oh, that's nice.
I know.
is it really the... I mean, I don't wish any harm to come to Hyros or anyone, but is it really the worst thing to have a furious Hyros on that man's shadow?
Potentially if he surrounds him with 5 other priests and has those fucking shiny bitches everywhere.
They were fairly shiny, yeah.
From what you described, it took essentially a minor deity to take down Dad. I don't know if a single man who thinks himself a speaker for the luminary is going to be much of a trouble for him.
That is true.
It's not as if he's going somewhere, we're not going with him.
I don't think you need to worry. He is not one for rash behavior.
That's true.
The man's old.
He's not that old.
He's my father. I call him as old as I want.
I'm older than he is.
Then you're old too.
Let's go see Hybrids.
So to Wyvern.
What do we want to do?
So Wyvern Glen. So Malorn by way of Wyvern Glen, perhaps.
Sure. It's
So it's a little more north to get to Wyvern Glen, but on the way to Malorn. There are roads and such that go to Malorn from all parts of the forest, and Wyvern Glen is small, but...
It's just not the most direct route, but that's alright.
Or we can hit Malorn first and see where information there takes us, because Bernard thinks that somewhere in the wood is where this temple could be.
True.
And do you think we should, let them know that we've taken care of what we've taken care of, or...?
I think Malorn is more likely to have amenities or connections.
It could be that when the food starts pouring back into the capital too, they'll surmise that something might be up.
We don't know how quick that'll be. Things are looking better now, and that's something. It's only been a day.
So to Malorn by way of Wyvern Glen, or Wyvern Glen by way of Malorn?
As much as I would like to see, the parents, I think Malorn is more responsible to see first. Yes. And then what we find there could perhaps allow us to spend some time in the woods. So,
all right.
North and east, I think.
Yep.
If we make for the river, that should be easy enough to find roads from there.
Yeah, probably the best way to do would be to get to the river, and then you could just probably take a boat straight there. Probably the best way to go.
Because they will travel upriver to
Yes,
Malorn.
they go both directions. Yeah.
Cool.
They can go upriver.
Because that's where a bunch of them meet down at what the fuck.
Well, that you probably don't need to go all the way down to like where the Mages College or Veradine is. Here. Oops, sorry.
That's okay. It's your computer.
Let's look at them.
So here's Treybin. Probably the best would be to go to like somewhere around here, hop across, and just hop onto this branch and head northward up the river.
Okay. Well, we're trying to hit Malorn first.
Oh, you're going to Malorn first?
Yeah.
Oh, well then in that case, yeah, you can probably go down to where they all meet and catch a ferry up.
Yeah. So it'll take us probably somewhere in the realm of another 2 weeks.
Roughly. Although probably actually faster if you're going by river for a lot of
a week and a half?
Yeah, probably. So is that the plan?
I think so.
Okay. Great.
We're
So we are...
even farther west than Treybin, which I didn't
Which means we can skirt around it.
Well, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I just thought it was on the other side.
preparing to set out for a journey, we'll do the same thing as we did last time. This will be treated, particularly if you're traveling by boat for at least half of it, this will be treated as downtime. So you can do with that time whatever you'd like. So, in traveling from Treybin to the banks of the river where you hope to catch a ferry, there's still a couple of days where you're, again, going across the plains. How are you traveling? Are you making camps or are you stopping at inns? Maybe a mix of both.
We certainly have the money for it.
We really do. We did mix on the way out here.
Yeah, we did.
So staying at inns then, maybe. Yeah. Affording yourselves a bit of luxury as you travel through the plains here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I want to bring up two things then that happen as you're crossing the plains. The first one is, maybe the second day of your journey, you're stopped in an inn. Let's call it,
Possum's Codpiece.
Great. It's the Possum's Codpiece.
Oh my god.
I'm sorry.
An odd name to be sure, but it's
She's
a cozy
not sorry,
place.
though.
I am sorry.
Let's play it out.
All right, great.
You're stopping for the night at the Possum's Codpiece. What would you like to do? Well, let's get some tavern ambiance.
Ooh, it's been so long.
No, it's just been banjos for the last 5 sessions.
I know exactly what Kashek's gonna do.
Ask for treasures?
No.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Eating some dirt.
No, it's just eating leaves.
Connect!
Oh, thank God. I didn't realize how much I was, like, ready to leave Treybin.
Ow.
Yeah, I know. You guys were there for a while.
Yeah,
Hey, fuck that place!
we weren't supposed to be there for very long, and we really were.
Yeah, fuck that.
I mean, everything takes as long as it does.
Whereas...
Not as long as you planned.
I liked it though. It was great. That,
Yeah.
well,
That's not a
what a
criticism
great arc
against
though.
Treybin.
By the
No,
way,
no.
I love that it was so unsatisfying.
Yeah, alright, that's valid.
I actually am thrilled.
What was it was Spirit Guardians. You don't even get a 6 scar out of it.
Nah,
She's got a lot of
it's
six
just little cherubs flying around.
Don't look at them. You actually can. I've got a turtleneck on.
What's this town's vibe, just real quick?
So this is you're still in the plains.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of farmers, but you're getting closer to the sort of more forested areas that bridge the gap between the plains and the massive woodlands that is the Wolfswood.
Mhm.
So you start seeing scattered groups of trees, and you start seeing more a diversity in the people that you're finding.
If I may, they still vote red,
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
but you have creature comforts again.
But they're a Mitt Romney.
You might
kind
call it,
instead of
I don't know, Lancaster.
Yeah, you're in Lancaster.
You're not embarrassed to be there, but you know.
There's like 2 half-elves and...
Yep, there's halflings and half-elves and
We
dwarves
love all
and-
kinds around here. Look, we have 2 half-elves.
Yes. You're not in Alabama anymore. You're in Western PA.
I don't want to be
For what
there.
it's worth.
All the yins can come on down
To the possum's cut piece.
Fuddruckers. I don't know.
Okay.
And so as you enter in, a portly woman behind the bar with an apron and a bonnet.
Fuck yeah.
Yep. Holding a rolling pin.
That's exactly what you're supposed to fucking have. Yeah.
Have we sat at a bar or a table?
You just walked in the front door.
Okay.
We haven't said
Just have a seat anywhere you like. I'll have someone over for you. You can I get you anything to drink? Maybe some water or you want some ale?
That's
Have
the
any
fir-
water ice?
That's the first time I've ever seen you take psychic damage in real life.
It's not very common.
said
I'm
water.
resistant, so you know. We'll just.
I gotta take my sweater off.
I think a round of ales would be very nice for us, please.
You right you are there, hon. I'll be right over. Take a seat anywhere you like.
Do you know, I've never been at this part of Arcadia before.
Me neither.
No.
We thought about
I've been a few places,
Yeah.
though.
when we were traveling around. We thought about coming out this way, but for some reason, more places were interesting at the time.
Well, if you're traveling by yourselves, that's one thing, but if you're traveling with my brother, he has a certain quality of what counts as interesting for him.
We only
Yeah.
traveled with the Drusters for a while.
Just to see the ocean.
I didn't know which part of the wild that was.
I hadn't seen the ocean before.
Me neither.
Okay. You do so.
He brought his own plane.
He's looking around to see who's impressed.
I forget, where did the plate come from?
The first time we stopped at an inn,
Yeah.
he was like just eating some
Was
raw
that
possum
where,
on a
where,
table,
where,
and someone was
we
like,
met Edgy McLancer outside, the elf
No.
purple? No.
no.
Well, that was a tiefling
That
and
was
also
when we were
no.
traveling around
Axel.
Angiers.
Oh, okay.
We were traveling around the Angiers, and it was like the first night
That
we
was
stopped
before
in.
we
Yeah,
got to
yeah,
Arcadia.
yeah. That
Hold
was
on,
just one of the-
I've got
yeah.
this. I've got
Kashek
this.
put some possum on the table, and someone was like, "Do you want like a plate or something?"
Or
and you
some
leaned over and went,
napkins.
"Are these treasures?"
They are.
They are.
Oh, that's why you put it.
You can use them to resurrect your friend.
Magic.
And you
And then
did.
you can get them back.
And it was very sweet of you.
This is far too valuable to leave here.
I
Feywild.
felt so. None of you guys really watch Parks and Rec, but the one where Anne and Chris are moving away, and Ron's just like says one word to Anne, and she goes, "Oh God, Ron!"
Yeah.
That's how I felt when that happened.
All right, so you're at the end. Kashek's brought his plate out.
Kashek, that's very impressive.
I thought so too.
I've got little man.
That's very nice.
He's again mesmerized now, being amongst so much movement and sound. I think he was a little bored out on the plains. But now he's excited being amongst hubbub of more civilization.
Is this like the next day? Like
Let's
2
call
days?
it, so it was a full day of travel. This is the night of the second day.
Cool.
I'll
Cool.
also I'll give him a little scritchy if that's okay.
Do we think we need to name him something different, knowing what we know now?
I'm just glad to see that it's sort of not exactly one-to-one. That must be comforting to you.
I was never of the opinion you shouldn't call him anything, but
Well, it's not really him, but he's still here.
Just a bit to the left.
Right, he's sort of like, I like the way that you put that, because like he's sort of wrapped up for safekeeping.
Yes.
Much like that plate.
Right. And
He's a treasure.
I wouldn't recommend letting him wander too far, though.
no, I'm not about to.
No, that's his only way back, it looks like.
And I'm not about to let it wander anywhere.
Just-
I'm just saying that the vessel itself should probably have a proper name.
Huh?
Are
Do you reach
touching
out
him?
a talon?
Yeah.
Oh god. So you do so, and you've probably interacted with him the least thus far in your journeys, but you reach out your one of your long talons, and he watches it kind of come closer to him, and his eyes go like a little inward as he watches it come closer, and then he holds up his little hands and he looks at his own little talons. And then he wraps his little talons around your little talon and starts gnawing on it like it's a bone.
oh god.
Yes, Kashek, do you want him to stop doing that?
That was very. That was a rapt, gentle, almost imperceptible shake of the head. No.
That was the
It was very cute.
Yeah, for anyone who doesn't know Freddy in person, that's the exact face that Freddy makes when a baby grasps onto his finger and holds on real tight. Which is, I'm not really sure what it wants.
But also, yes.
What if we named him Dwark Jr.?
That's a horrible name for a child, Kashek.
I don't know many human names.
Or humanoid, you know what I mean.
Kashek, I'd like to think that we're friends. We've been through a lot together. And unfortunately, you've picked the name of the one person in the world I would never name a baby after.
Did he make that sour of an impression on you?
No! That's the thing. I think we might be friends. We just don't like each other.
It is hard to tell when you first meet him.
I don't know, I'll think about it.
But he can have his own.
I'm mad because I was still dead when Kashek said the thing about being Dwark's father. Now I need to know if Kashek is older than Dwark.
Well, what, physically or?
But I'll never know. I don't
If
know
you
that he said that.
Mind me asking, how is it that you two came to meet?
I found him, lost in the desert.
It's an unusual place to find a dwarf, as far as I know.
Indeed.
What
He
was
was
he doing
quite
there?
disoriented.
Does he know what he was doing there?
Define no.
Did he think he knew what he was doing there?
At the time,
Mm-hmm.
I showed him a different way of thinking.
Has he been a studious pupil?
I've made the best of a bad situation.
Or a bad pupil? Some would say there's no such thing.
No such thing as a bad pupil, but bad people certainly exist.
He holds your gaze.
Mm-hmm. I give it out of that. I should like to acquaint myself with him better one day. I've heard such stories. Ariel's come, I assume?
They do. The woman from behind the bar comes over with a couple of flagons of ale, plunking them down in front of each of you. Here you go, hun. Enjoy. Oh, and one more thing. She holds up what looks to be a very fine bottle of wine. This here was purchased for you by that gentleman over there at the bar, with his best regards. And she puts it down in the center of the table.
How much of a purple tiefling does this guy look?
So much of a purple tiefling.
All right. All right.
Oops. Sorry.
No, that's what.
You look across the crowded tavern as the woman makes her way away from the table. And you see, sitting slumped against the bar with an elbow over either side of it, Axel. Dressed much more finely than the last time you saw him.
I should
more.
hope
Much
so.
last time. Just dressed much more than the last time you
Give him
saw
a
him.
lot of money.
He's wearing... And I'm sorry to do this. You guys have seen Howl's Moving Castle, yes?
Obviously.
The jacket
Don't.
that hangs over the shoulders.
Do it to me, Trevor. Don't.
He's secretly from Wales!
Yeah. Yeah, he's got the tight pants, the pirate shirt, and the jacket that goes over just hangs over the shoulders instead of being worn.
Yeah.
Robin, why'd you get so sticky all of a sudden?
And as you look across the bar, he's holding a small glass sifter with a very brown liquid and some ice cubes inside, and he just kind of raises at you, tipping his brow, giving you a little cheers.
What kind of wine is this?
Very fine. It's
Yeah, do you know?
it's called Passion of the Plains.
It certainly is not, fuck.
Chapin de
Champagne de l'Estampe.
Yeah. The Barovian one.
Not Barovian wine, but probably, I don't know, it's probably the nicest bottle they
Red
have.
Dragon Crush. Sorry, I remember it.
Ah, yes. It's the nicest bottle they have in-house, you would guess.
Just politely incline my head.
As he raises his goblet, I will raise my dinner plate.
And he goes,
I nod knowingly and replace the dinner plate.
We've all done a society before, you know.
I'm sure you live in one.
Then I will pour that sucker out.
oh, what?
Bottle of wine. I will pour it into
Like into a
Oh, I
glass.
thought you meant like on the floor. Rude!
Into a glass.
Yeah, she also placed 4 wine glasses in front of all of you too. So you each have a flagon of ale and a wine glass. Those of you who wish to partake.
Oh yeah, let's get drunk, you guys.
Yeah, to
Yeah.
be honest, I think we sort of deserve it.
I will do a neat trick and pry the cork out with my pinky and just fucking pour some glasses of wine and shit.
Dope!
Yeah.
That was a neat trick.
Colorful folk in the performing arts.
Get the wine bottle open at any cost, I understand.
Sometimes you don't have an opener with you.
I've heard a shoe works.
I don't want to put my feet on the floor of this place.
That's true.
No offense.
How'd you get in here?
I'll take some of that if you don't mind.
I'll pour 4 glasses.
Pouring it out.
Is it a red, I assume?
Yes. But of course.
A purple tiefling drinks red.
Absolutely. As you pour out the wine, he gets up from his spot at the bar and crosses the tavern floor, coming to rest, standing still just at your table. Well, well, well. My luck never seems to fade. It's quite good to see you all again. How have you been since our last chance meeting?
Oh, the music changed.
Our luck has been sort of up and down, as it were. Quite fortuitous of you to happen upon us here.
Nothing happens by chance. As it happens, I've been looking for quite a time for you. Though these plants are awful big, please excuse me for taking so long.
Is there another seat at this table?
Sure.
Kind of push it out so he can sit if he would like.
May I? You're too kind. And he does. He sort of walks around and takes a seat at the table. Well, you're all looking quite well. Very healthy.
You're looking quite clothed.
Yes. Well, as it happens, I was able to take that tidy sum that you so graciously lent out to me when last we met and turn it into something quite nice. But that's actually why I've been looking for you.
This is more of the poison juice that humans drink, correct?
This one is probably not poison, but let me have a sip first.
He sips.
No doubt, you've had many thrilling and gainful adventures since last we met, I don't doubt, in your line of work.
Less gainful than we might have hoped, monetarily speaking.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Not vast sums to be had out here in the plains, unfortunately.
No, they are a humble people out here on the plains.
Most of them.
But nonetheless, hit a bit of a snag in the reopening of the Queens, etc. You see, I've gotten myself situated again and am ready to reopen business, as it were. However, I need premises if I am to fully operate the business again as I did before. There just so happens to be a lot opening up in the grand square of this imperial city of Arcadia. Can you imagine that? An open lot in the grand square? That happens once in a millennia. So, you can understand my excitement to jump on this opportunity.
We can.
I'm sure you can. And being my chief and most favorite investors, I was wondering if you could spot a little bit more cash to secure this lot, that we may again bring the Queen's etc. back to her full glory.
How much do you need, Axel?
Not very much. No, a trifle. Just a down payment so that they will hold the spot in my name until construction can begin. Just a mere 2,000.
Gold?
We don't deal in anything else here in Arcadia.
2,000.
Well, it's prime real estate in the grand market square of the capital. I mean, you can't expect that to go cheap. It's just a down payment. Once it's open and running again, I'll be able to pay that back in a flash, and you will not have to worry about property taxes in the least, don't you worry. And to entice you further, I wouldn't think of showing you not just the littlest bit of return on investment. I brought something for you. And he reaches into his jacket and pulls out, and he's sort of like holding between two of his fingers here and here, a pair of smooth stones with a face inscribed on each. The comedy and drama face, in fact, from the theatrical world. These little beauties, quite handy-dandy if I do say so myself, let you communicate over great and long distances just by speaking into them. And he does a little flourish of the hand, sending one up into the air and catching it with his other hand, now holding one in each. Hello, anyone out there? Oh, you sound handsome.
Seren's not impressed, and Madison's like, God damn it.
Oh, here you are, my friend. Kashek reaching out, yeah, he hands them over to you.
Do I hear him?
You can.
I did hear you.
Seren, can you hear me?
Do they only work once a day?
They are what are they called?
Sending
stones. So yes.
He doesn't know to hold it up to his ear yet.
When activated, they can be used to cast a sending spell targeted at the bearer of its pair. So all that entails once a day.
I think that they can only be used once, but I did briefly hear you. It seems that he's not entirely pulling a leg. Doesn't matter which one gets which one.
Oh no, they go both ways.
Gonna leave that one right there. I say out loud.
So, now with proof of concept, what do you say about a second round of investing?
How did the lot become empty, Axel?
I don't.
I don't.
No. I welcome questions. It's important to source out contacts in the business world.
Let me
Am I wrong?
make no mistake. I'm not judging you if something had happened. I just want to know if there's going to be a paper trail.
Oh dear Saren, why would you ever judge me? I mean, this is the capital. Businesses turn over all the time. Just happens to an unfortunate fella couldn't keep up with the current times. Lost his business.
Which business was it?
Oh, who's to say? So many come in and out of the capital every single day.
It wasn't a bookshop, was it?
Vasily's you refer to?
I do.
No.
Good.
Still running. It'll be there well after all of us are dead.
Good.
Nor the clothier.
Oh, Mary Trope.
Madam Mary Tropes? No, the old bag's still spinning away.
Good. Then we have no other friends to worry about in the capital.
And Surrie can finally get the next volumes in those series that she likes so much.
Oh! Bit of a bookworm, are you? What are you picking up these days?
What's it called?
Game of Light and Shadow.
That.
A Game of Light and Shadow.
That's
fascinating read. Too. I've picked it up once or twice myself.
But very good.
Undoubtedly. If you're into that sort of thing. Forgive me. It's just you seem a bit different than the last time we met.
Oh. How so?
Must be the lighting. Well, anyway.
Insight check.
Go ahead.
Where's her bonk?
Milivage check.
No.
She didn't do anything yet.
Meanwhile, I'm just checking off boxes in my fucking head.
Yeah.
11.
Famously inscrutable.
It was weird, but
That was weird.
it was weird.
What was that?
Did die. Okay.
Who knows? Anyway, were we discussing business or what? So,
I don't have the full sum.
well, you didn't last time either, but working together through the power of friendship,
All right.
anything can be achieved.
All right. We can certainly make that up between us all. You are aware, Mr. Axel.
Please, call me Axel. Mr. Axel is dead.
Yeah, all right. Axel, my fine chap.
Mm-hmm.
You understand, we made this abundantly clear last time, but I want to be consistent, of course, as that is the surest way to be taken seriously. A grave danger, of course, in this world to be taken seriously. If for some reason this does not pan out, or we find you have been making light with our trust in you, well...
You trust me? Oh, I could shed a tear.
I purely mean in a financial sense.
Sure, whatever you say. Alcyone.
And it is, as I say. Thank you. We, of course, will now know A, where to find you, and B, we have had some bouts of misfortune recently that really do lend to great need for catharsis. Don't put yourself in the way of that. Yeah?
I wouldn't dream of it. And in fact, if this all does come to pass, what I can provide you is going to make all those trials and tribulations all the more interesting.
Good enough for me?
I'm not attached to my coin. I just don't have enough to front him entirely myself.
500 each of us should do just fine. I will fork over my 500.
It's a lot of gold.
All of you do so?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not sure why you think we're going to be getting more gold anytime soon.
I'm not sure where you intend to spend this gold anytime soon.
Well?
It's more than I've seen in my life.
Do you want mine?
No, I don't want yours. I'm just saying.
If you have needs, we can spot you.
It'll be fine.
And we're in the employ of the crown now. Money's no object to them.
You're right.
Well, a most capital business meeting. Shall we cheers?
Oh,
Shall.
would you like some? It's only right you bought the bottle.
I'll make sure he's got a glass.
Only too kind of you. And he accepts it with graciously. To our continued mutual benefit. Cling, clink.
Dish.
I like you. Well, I won't take up any more of your valuable time, as I'm sure it is most valuable. Enjoy the wine. Enjoy the stones. We'll be seeing each other real soon, I'm sure, once the premises are secured.
Take care.
To you as well.
Mm.
Keep in touch. And he turns and goes.
Now, next time, do you think we'll see him with more clothes on or back to
Yes.
zero?
You know? I hadn't considered that second point.
I think it's
but
1 up to 2.
Kashek doesn't.
It's got to be.
Well, first of all, does anyone have any particular claim on either of these?
The stones? I don't believe anyone needs to worry about getting attached to them.
Yeah, you
They'll
don't need
work,
to attune to
they'll
them at
work
all.
for anybody who uses them.
Well, in which way do we pair off the most? It's usually you and I, right?
Right.
You are the sneakier of us.
So it makes sense for one of
One of
us
us.
and then one of you two.
I believe it'd be me. Alcyone is telepathic.
And do you have
What?
You have methods of pointing a finger and sending a message, don't you?
If someone's within 120 feet of me and also not obscured by, like,
Everything.
a building or a stone or...
Well, that's more than I've got. So
Kashek, you seem like you'd get some enjoyment out of it. He'll take between the two of us.
then can I take the one between the two of us?
Yes.
Perfect.
Do you have any particular designs on which one you'd like?
Happy.
You can have the happy one, Kashek.
One more quick thing.
Mm-hmm.
You spend the rest of the night, a leisurely night, enjoying the wine. But Alcyone, at one point, maybe you're getting up to go to relieve yourself or going to get another drink, but you're walking across the floor, and you happen to overhear a conversation that catches your interest.
Mm-hmm.
It's two women sitting at a table, one of them crying, the other with her arm around trying to console. There, darling. He's a man grown now. You can't stop him from chasing his dreams. But that's what I'm saying, Shelley. It just don't make no sense. He had big dreams of being a doctor and he's up and run away with the circus? It just don't track. He just left without a word. Just not even a note. He's gone. What would you like to do?
Keep listening. Trying to look like I'm not doing that.
Well, it was a really good show when they came through. Maybe you just got caught up in all the glitz and glamour. I mean, there's tales of the Kenny Shepherds who had taken much more than, people run off with them all the time trying to get a bit of that life. I know, he did like it, but I don't know, it was something strange. He went a bit funny that night. I just, something doesn't feel right, Shelley.
I'm gonna walk up to... They're at a table?
Yeah.
Alright, I'll walk up to them. Pardon me, ladies, I couldn't help but overhear. Can I get you a drink?
Oh, excuse me. And she sort of like blows her nose into her handkerchief. Oh, you must forgive me, and sort of wipes tears away from her eyes. Oh, I must look such a mess. I'm sorry, what was it?
Oh, just if I could get you a drink or anything, I couldn't help but overhear.
Do we know each other?
No, I'm just passing through town. But I'm a performer myself. I've heard of these shepherds you speak of.
And the one who's been crying, kind of folds back into her hands.
I'd look at the one who's not crying. Can I get her something? Something stronger, perhaps?
Ellen, she could probably use a cup of coffee.
I'll make sure one gets over here.
That's very kind.
Yes. My name is Alcyone, by the way. Pleasure to meet you.
Alcyone. Well, that's a fancy name.
Oh, for not a very fancy girl, I'm afraid.
Well, thanks, Alcyone. Much appreciated.
Of course.
Can we do anything for you?
Oh, no, I've been trying to catch one of these performances of these individuals. I tried not to say the name.
Oh.
And they've just come through, you said?
Yeah, just 2 nights back they came through town, put on quite a show.
Oh.
Just so much so that, jeez, it was her son. Nice bright chap at 18, was set to go to the Wizards College and all. I don't know, I guess he caught a shine to their performance and they packed up, he went with them.
The next morning?
Yeah.
And you said, I'm sorry, was he alone in this or were there others? If you know.
I can't say for sure.
Fair enough. Well, do you know where you're headed next on their route?
Oh, yeah, I think... And she sort of rustles around in a satchel that she has and brings out a flyer.
Mm-hmm.
Spread across the top in eloquent lettering. The uncanny shepherds of the Scroll Keeper. Tour dates and a list of cities and dates. And you are closest to Lancashire, let's call it.
Sure.
Which was just 2 days ago. The next one you can see, they are set to arrive in Gallowglen in 2 days.
Do you mind if I hold on to this?
Sure.
Thank
They're
you.
all over the place. Go ahead.
Well, then if that's the case, then...
No, I don't need it anymore. We've seen him. And she looks at her friend who's dissolving more and more in tears. Like, don't know, we'll be going to see him again.
Well, if I do see them, who should I look for by name? Him, the boy.
Whoa! Raskin! He had so much promise.
Raskin, I'm very sorry that his path chose him so abruptly. If I do manage to catch up with them, I'll see if I can get an idea where he's at.
Well, I think we appreciate that a whole lot.
Sure, I don't mean to intrude. I understand the life a bit. When I was younger, of course.
I can tell by your voice you're a good singer.
Sometimes, when the mood's right.
Oh, well, Thanks, Alcyone. Luminaries like bewitches.
And with you, madam, and with you. I'll make sure to bring a coffee over for her.
Right, kind of you.
Of course.
Well, have a good night.
And you as well. Safe travels. I will go over to the bar.
Mm-hmm.
Coffee, please.
Get the coffee over to the two.
The sobbing woman and her friend. Can't miss her.
You got it, hon.
Sorry.
I'm so sorry to everyone listening.
You don't
This
need
is amazing.
don't apologize. It's great.
Yeah, as I'm standing at the bar there, I will unfold the
Mm-hmm.
flyer. Just never look at it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll fold it back up and slip it into a pocket of my skirt.
Okay. Cool.
Because in fantasy world, my skirts have pockets.
Thanks,
Oh,
Alex.
yeah.
Yeah.
Let's call it there. Thanks,
Okay.
guys.
Thank you, man. That was dope.